1200 KXIC. We are joined in studio by Ron Solsrud, owner of Petland on the east side of Iowa City. It's been a few weeks. Glad to have you back.
Good to be here.
How are things going?
Very good. Getting back into the mode.
And you brought up in that first segment that a lot of snow is melting out there. Kai O'Mara from KCRG calls it the snow melting machine. I like to call it heat.
Another word for heat.
But a lot of things happening is, and it's important also with this transition, it affects your pets.
Yes. As we go from, well, here we are almost all out of our winter clothing. And so we're going to switch that up and get into the fun summer clothing into the store. But toys and all that kind of stuff, this is the time to start looking for that and getting into it because those dogs want to get out and play.
Well, I think everybody does. And that's an important point to bring up is that this is kind of a stir-crazy time where temperatures are fluctuating. Everybody's done with winter. Nobody wants winter anymore. If you're a snow enthusiast, you got your snow, you got your sledding, you got your skiing in, you got your cross country in. Now, get rid of the snow and get us to warm temperatures, but it can drive pets differently. It affects all of us. And I know one thing that we're going to be talking about is yippee barking.
Yippee yappy, yahooey, little doggies. And that's something that we're going to talk about because we're going to talk about different ways to help your dog. We're going to talk about primary, then into secondary and tertiary, and even further, how to help your dog. And I have a new little guy at our house. My daughter did get a pet, a little puppy, actually a little older of a puppy, and I think it found its voice. It's practicing at night.
I was going to say there's a difference between puppy barking and older dog barking.
This is a more of an adult voice, and boy is it vocalizing and trying it out at night and all that. And last night we had to go to the fourth iteration and it is done. Last night we were all like, oh, good night's sleep. And that's the most important thing is that you get a good night's sleep.
You have dogs, you have cats, you have bunnies, you have birds, you have tarantulas, you have fish, you have what's the most interesting pet that you've ever sold through Petland?
Ooh. I do think that in the different segments, so I don't have one in one, kind of thing. Puppies, there has definitely been, it's funny.
I asked you a tough question.
Yeah. 3 weeks ago, I came into the store after working with breeders and I said, I just found the most beautiful puppy I've ever seen. And it was, and everybody laughed at me because they go, we've never heard you say that, Ron. I go, well, they all are cute. I'm not, but this one was a holy cow, a little Shih Tzu Pomeranian, and it was just the fluffiest, cutest little thing. That was special to me, and everybody saw that my heart was going out for it, and they went, whoa. A chameleon, a veiled chameleon, I think is a very special, if you're not in, hey, I don't have that kind of time and all that, a veiled chameleon is a really easier pet and really interesting.
We were just talking before we started that it's been 1 year since I've been back at KXIC.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Enduring. And you put a veiled chameleon on my head while we were doing the show, and it just kind of crawled right along. And maybe you can repost that picture. But the reason that I sort of led you down that path was I have an amazing pet story of the week. Are you ready for it?
I am ready. Are you ready?
It's time for the amazing pet story of the week.
Not that you would ever sell goats in your store, but some people think of goats as a pet. Would you agree?
I definitely know that people look at goats as pets. I would say they probably are not all that great of a pet, but yes,
people can have attachments. Well, golfers at one Oregon resort won't have to depend on any old kid to caddy. That's right. The retreat and links at Sylvie's Valley Ranch in Seneca is training goats to work as caddies for the golfers. Set to open up later on this year, the resort says that the goats will have special backpacks to all around clubs, balls, and of course, beverages. So
I can see that.
That's like a working pet.
Yeah, that and the goat's going to get out a lot, and that's what's key to those goats.
I wonder. Obviously, it's a little bit of a shtick, but are goats? I would like to see the price comparison between golf carts and keeping up with goats, because there's got to be a little price comparison there.
There got to be, but I don't know what it is.
Anyway, the interesting, amazing pet story of the week, talking about interesting animals, pets, and whatnot. So
yes,
what's the
you want to talk about an English Bulldog?
I would love to, because I think that is the breed of the week.
It is the breed of the week.
Ding, 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 ding,
ding. So we have coming in right now a plethora of English Bulldogs. They are normally a tougher breed to find because they are tough to breed. This is one breed that great breeders will always say on English Bulldogs, this has to be done by a C-section, because if you know an English Bulldog, you'll know that they have tiny little hips in proportion to their body.
Sure.
And so that puts some complications into it. So a C-section is the way to do that. The best for the mom. And then as a result, the mom is only going to be able to have a couple of litters, and that's about enough, as far as just wear and tear and how that all works medically. And so that has resulted in not as many English Bulldogs available out there. Now put on top of it, they're just plain cute. They're very unique in how they look and all that kind of stuff, and people love them. So you put that into the whole business, supply and demand, and you're going to see higher prices as a result.
Bulldogs tend to have that frowny look on their face, kind of smushed. I saw one in recent weeks that could have been a cartoon face. It had its jowls and at the corners of its mouth literally pulled all the way down to its chin. It just looked like boom, 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 boom. Just a big, tough, dog. And it was I just laughed at it. And here it is, just looking at me, just like, what's up? And then, it wags its short little tail and comes up and is and then all excited and happy. And they are tough. They are dense dogs.
Very dense.
I don't know about the English Bulldog.
I say they're girthy.
Yeah,
their bodies are girthy. They're actually a dwarf. The legs are short in proportion, and medically they're in the dwarf family.
Interesting.
So it's So what does AKC say about English Bulldogs? They start off with a medium-sized dog. They are not your typical lap dog, but would like to be, and that is so true for an English Bulldog. Oh, a great quote from somebody a long time ago. English Bulldogs, you walk them for a block and they're done with exercise for the day. You run them for a block and they're done with exercise for the week. So that's it's not an active dog. You're not going to go running with this one. They are one of the most popular breeds according to the AKC. Registration statistics due to their lovable, gentle dispositions and adorable wrinkles. The English Bulldog may be brindle, white, red, fawn, fallow, or piebald. Now, history of them. Let's see how they go into this one. Said to have originated in the British Isles, the name bull was applied because of the dog's connection with bull baiting. Now, this is one of those, really? This is what the dog used to do? Boxers were fighting dogs in the past. We wouldn't even think of that today. This, the English Bulldog, was used to bait bulls. The original Bulldog had to be ferocious and courageous and almost insensitive to pain. When dog fighting became illegal in England, fanciers set to the task of preserving the breed by eliminating the fierce characteristics, which is applied to so many other breeds out there. That's why boxers are so nice. German Shepherds are so nice today. The breeders of the past then started, once that became taboo, it wasn't the culture anymore for the fighting aspects of these dogs. They then said, well, we still love the breed. Let's breed them so that they're nicer. And over generations, you can breed a nicer mentality. So within a few generations, the Bulldog became one of the finest physical specimens with an agreeable temperament. Speaking of temperament, English Bulldogs are recognized as excellent family pets because of their tendency to form strong bonds with children. They tend to be gentle and protective. The breed requires minimal grooming because of their short hair and minimal exercise. Their short nose makes them prone to overheating in warm weather. Oh, so little education. Dogs do not sweat other than their paws. They get most of their heat out through breathing, so that when you see a dog panting, they're getting rid of heat, like we would just sweat. So that is overheating in warm weather. So make sure to provide a shady place to rest. Generally, bulldogs are known for getting along well with children, other dogs, and pets. So went from working with bulls to being great with families. They can become so attached to home and family that they will not venture out of the yard without a human companion. Bulldogs do better with positive training. That would be true with any dog. They love getting rewarded with treats. That would be true with any dog. And so that was that. Let's see. They're in the non-sporting group in the AKC. Were recognized back in 1886. They range from 40 to 50 pounds. Great for a family companion. Fine in an apartment. Also small condos. So they are getting this down to this is a 40 to 50 pound dog, but the dog is not an exercise intensive at all dog. Low activity indoors due to their snouts. Thrive in moderate climates. Light daily exercise. Grooming, they're easy care. They do point out, keep the face clean, so you're going to wipe that down on a daily basis. And then average shedding, because the English Bulldog is a bigger dog, average shedding is obviously going to be more for that size of dog than you would for another shedding dog known as the Chihuahua, kind of a thing. So you also play that into your factor. But English Bulldogs are very fun. And lively and all that kind of stuff. But within a short period of time, they lose the energy and okay, can I sleep on your lap? Kind of a thing.
And there it is.
And that is it. The English Bulldog.
Barking tends to be an issue. We talked about incontinence, or not incontinence, sorry, peeing last time. What's the word?
I see what you're saying. Submissive
wetting, sorry.
Which is dogs are designed to be that way. We don't quite understand why. Why does a dog, why do some dogs come up to you and they do what some people call happy pee or excited pee and all that? They're designed to do that. So we talked about that, how to prevent that in our last show. So if you want that, go back in time to, we're on YouTube right now, and that show is on YouTube. You just search PAWSitively Petland radio show and you'll have that come up and you can see us in action and actually learn about that. Today,
barking.
So
why do dogs bark?
Well, that's a whole nother show. So we're not going to go too far in that. Dogs bark for a lot of different reasons. Here, how did you put it before? Love me, love me, love me, love me.
Love me, love me, love me. Pet me. I want you, I want you, I want you, I want you.
So attention. I want your attention. Some dogs bark because they're nervous, and I don't know what to do. Come and get me. They bark for I'm out to get you, so a little more on the anger side of things, or I'm alerting of danger kind of thing. So there's a lot of different reasons why a dog barks.
I was walking in an apartment building the other day, and I just was walking, not doing anything, and I could hear, I'm equating it to what is maybe a rat terrier, something along that lines, a little feisty Jack Russell-esque type dog. As I walked past, I could hear it snarling from underneath the door at me.
Yeah, so that was
just like he wanted to just attack me, and it scared me because I was like, "Calm down, buddy. I'm just walking by." But there are a lot of different reasons. What do you do?
So most situations, just by ignoring the dog in that. So the attention getters. So in your case, that was a dog. I don't know who you are. I'm a little leery of this. I'm going to get my angry face on, trying to shoo you away. Well, ignoring is going to solve that problem there. By going away, the barking stops, the snarling stops. But if your dog is attention getting, middle of the night, bark, 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 or when you walk by, somebody's house and their dog is barking, it's, I want attention, I want attention, kind of a thing. Ignoring the bark in most cases, handles that situation. That's how most of us get through this. And we don't even think about it. Oh, my dog just doesn't bark. It's because you ignored it when the dog barked. You didn't make a big deal about it. You didn't go to the dog when the dog was barking. You didn't reward the dog when the dog was barking. Those are things that you don't want to do. If you are trying to stop your dog from barking, ignore them. Don't reward them in any way. Don't scratch their little jowl and say, settle down, little dog. You just gave it attention. That's what it was looking for. You need to stop doing that. Ignore the bad behaviors in this situation.
And believe it or not, because I've had dogs my entire life, or pretty much my entire life, they will learn from your reactions as well. If you're anxious, that dog is going to be anxious. And I've seen a lot of them, especially over Terry Trueblood Park, where I do quite a bit of walking. Yanking on their leash isn't a good way of handling that situation.
Right. This is, it felt right. It felt like the right thing to do, but put yourself in the dog situation and try thinking like the dog. If the dog is barking and you're yanking, you kind of are doing the same thing.
Or yelling at it.
Right.
I saw somebody just, you quiet down. What are you doing? Would you yell at a child like that?
Right.
Even if you don't have children.
But the dog is interpreting you as barking as well right now. And so I'm going to bark even more now because you're barking and all that kind of stuff. Now, they might know a little bit of behaviors, like when you say no, oh, wait, that means I'm supposed to stop with whatever. So there is some of that going on there. But for the most part, I love what you just said. Calm down, bring the situation back into control. In fact, in that situation, if a dog is barking while you're walking and you want to work on it now, you need to bring the dog back away from what's happening, reward your dog when it is now calm, and just kind of let the situation dissipate. Move slowly forward back into what's causing your dog to bark and reward the good behavior, ignore the bad behavior, and pull away at that point. So that's how most of us just naturally work with our dogs. Now, just like children, we brought up that. Some of them are tenacious. Some of them are strong-willed. Some of them just keep on going and they won't stop. So now you can start using some tools that you have available to you. So ignoring and rewarding good behavior is your number one. That's going to solve most situations. Callie, our dachshund, we got her at 1.5 years old, was a big barker. We literally put her in a room by herself. When she barked in the middle of the night, she didn't need to go potty or anything like that. Closed those doors, closed the doors on our bedroom, put a little pillow over our ears and let her bark her little heart out. Then when we came out, if she started barking right when she saw us, we then would turn away. But like at the beginning, at 5 seconds of non-barking, we get in there and pick her up. And then we progressed further and further in that. So rewarding the non-barking. Now, there are tools out there that are magnificent in what they do. And I want you to hear me out, because some of them you're going to go, I don't think that's humane. I want to explain to you what they were designed to do and imitate. And I think some of you will go, okay, I get that. So I have used for a long time an ultrasonic bark controller. And that is when it hears the bark, a loud noise, it then sends out an ultrasonic sound higher than our ears can hear, but our dogs can. And it must be a little irritating, because my dogs responded extremely well. I think the statistics say 90% of the dogs will respond to this type of training. So if it's barking in the middle of the night, if our dogs go through periods, it's every year, every 2 years, all of a sudden they just get a little barky at night. And so we just turn on the ultrasonic bark control, put it by their kennel where they sleep at night in a kennel, because they will wander and they'll get into other people's beds and all that kind of stuff and get into mischief. So they go into their beds. They gladly go in there. They jump in that thing every night. We put that out there. So now if they bark, they get that sound that they don't like, and then they go, oh, wait, I see a pattern here. I'm going to stop barking. Works extremely well about 90% of the time. I always say with all these devices, don't ever give them away, because you're going to need them in the future. So ultrasonic, this is just, ours looks like a little house. They also have them in different shapes and sizes and all that. You can literally put these on your doorknob. They usually have a little wire on them, and you can put them on your doorknob. So the front door where they go to and bark at the door, now they're going to get a little ultrasonic sound back at them. So that's one method. Vibration is a key thing. And that is you know how your phone vibrates when you put it on vibrate? Feels exactly the same way, but they've put it on a collar, and now you just put it around your dog. And again, it's sound activated. This is again in that 90% of the dogs respond to it kind of thing. Not all dogs do. And whenever they bark, they get that buzz going on their neck, and most people will go, you know what, I don't feel bad about that one. I'm going to try that one. And I would go through this progression to try these different things. So now use the collar on that. Again, voice sound activated and all that kind of stuff. And then finally, the bark collar, the static charge, also known as the shock collar. I have used this on myself. And yes, I didn't like the highest level, but most dogs don't even go to that level. They're automatic. They start at the low level. And when the dog starts responding to it, then they stop right there. So what the static collar does is it imitates a bite to the neck. Now let's sit back. If two dogs are playing, but one dog, I'm starting to get irritated with you, the other dog. And, I don't like what you're doing anymore. You know what? I kind of have had it right now. What does that one dog that's irritated do to the other dog?
Bite it on its neck.
Exactly. And that is what the static collar imitates. In fact, when you use it, your dog will look around and go, where did that just come from? Where's that dog that just bit me come from? Now, this collar works 98% of the time. We just had it. We just used that collar on our daughter's little dog that was over for our house and was, new place, was going through some barking and all that kind of stuff. The other measures just didn't work. We've been working with this for now 2 or 3 weeks. And so I said, let's just try it, see how it works. Last night, it started winding up, whining and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden it went into the bark. It stopped right there and said, what the heck just happened? Silent for the rest of the night. And so we did try the ignoring. We did try the ultrasonic sound. We did try the vibrating. None of them worked. So we did go that last step, and it did work. If you think your dog, if your dog does bark, and you know that that's an issue, try these different tools that are out there. It's going to cost you a little bit of money as you progress further and further in it, but it's well worth it. And when you're away from your apartment,
it's well worth it if it annoys you.
Yes.
If you're the type of
dog, then this is not for you. But if you're the person that says my dog doesn't bark when I'm gone,
or I'm thinking about giving it away because it
barks, oh my goodness,
or in your heart broken,
you just got a citation saying you got to get rid of your dog. Right. These are measures you can take. And if you have a barking dog and you think it doesn't bark when you're gone, you're wrong. It does bark. It's like the whole falling tree in the woods. Yes, it did make some sense to your neighbors and all that.
Tell us about any specials going on. Do you have a $5 nail trim?
Thank you for the prompt. We're Petland of Iowa City, located at the Marketplace Mall. Used to be the Sycamore Mall. Our specials all the time, $5 nail trims. You can't beat a $5 nail trim. All of our dog food is on a buy 10, get 1 free. We track it for you. It's that easy. And we have very competitive pricing. Taste of the Wild is below internet pricing right now. So we are that aggressive in what we do. And we track it for you. So when that 11th one gets handed to you, streamers come down, balloons go up.
No, don't you? No. I've received many of the 11th bags with you over the years. No, it does not. Don't you?
When I'm at the register and it happens.
No fake news on KXIC.
When I'm at the register and it happens, they go, oh, that is so cool. And I always look up. I go, oh, the balloons are starting.
Maybe at the news store you can that can happen. Ron Solsrud, Petland of Iowa City on the east side. What are your hours today?
We are open today, Sunday, from noon until 6. Come in and play. And then every other day, we're open from 10 a.m. until 9 p.m. But today, Sunday, we're open from noon until 6.
Positively Petland Show, 9 o'clock on Sunday mornings on Iowa City's news and sports station, 800 KXIC. Be well, Ron.
Thanks.